Hello fluffy gamers. The update 1.1.2 is here and live now. Straight to the business, shall we? Starting off with a banger. Touching or bumping into Sandworm during any of its aggro animation will now result in instant death or vehicle destruction. Some players misunderstood this, thinking even its normal roaming animation kills. But that's not the case. I've tested it by ramming, jumping and running over it while it was roaming under the sand, and I survived. Still, I wouldn't recommend standing on the sand. The devs claim getting stuck on the sand should be fixed, but even they sound unsure. Better safe in the air than dead on the ground. And when things get too hot on the sand, we can go back to the base. And there are a bunch of changes waiting for us. So if you're using Slider Replicator, you'll be happy to know that it now saves all placed objects and decorations when saving your base. No more painful placements for the storage boxes. Once inside the base, check out the deposit all water and blood buttons. Finally, and you can fill your flask with a single button too. That's very nice touch. Another nice touch is the new search bar in crafting tables, including your character crafting window. No more scrolling up and down to find the stuff. The Sub-Thief console UI also got an upgrade. It now shows power and water info, as well as storage slots and total weight. I don't know how useful it will be, but it sure does look slick. Speaking of building, you can now place pillars between the walls. I haven't tested much since I'm missing a lot of skins on the test server, but I am excited to see what creative players do with it. On the topic of other players, they also added search bar to the marketplace. It's much easier to browse now, although during testing I noticed a small issue. Sometimes you have to type the full first name of the item to find it. It's most likely tagging issue, probably easy fix for the devs. And if you look carefully at that blueprint, you'll see that you can now preview the item stats directly. No more Google doodling, just to see if schematic is worth buying. This applies both
for market and inventory.
And speaking of vendors, prices have been lowered for spice-related drinks. You might have seen longer vendor list in the patch notes, but honestly, I haven't found the vendors who sell that stuff. Maybe they exist on some secret developer server, I don't know. It's okay, keep your secrets. I'm heading back to Haga. Let's talk Thopter changes while we are flying. Longer durability on wings and boosters is always welcome. The assault Thopter got a big boost, with storage unit. The max boost speed went from 120 to 172, and it now keeps the speed even when climbing. The carrier Thopter got love too. With cargo attached, its flying speed is now the old boost speed, and boosting feels like you're actually flying now. You can now outfly Mk5 assault Thopter with rocket pods with no problem. Oh, and now Thopters bounce off each other while colliding. No more griefing, you naughty sleepers. Another biggest change in Haga is spice spawns have been relocated, except the one that's on the drums end, of course. Floor sand spawn has been completely replaced, and its density has also changed. Even though you need to spend more time on open sand, if you gather it like we gather spice, it's not that bad. Slower sure, but not awful. They even left patch of floors and for the beginners, which is nice. And if you get thirsty from this hard work and want some water, then you should know they also reworked large primrose fields, so people who had that as their main water source, well, you might wanna start using corpses. So when collecting NPC corpses, you now tap F instead of holding it. It's faster, though a bit confusing if your muscle memory says to hold. And when you are going to get pile of bodies, don't park your vehicle in enemy base anymore. Radial damage now affects vehicle modules, including NPC grenades and rockets. No more crash landing into the enemy base. Buggy drivers in deep desert, be extra careful. Other players can now break your threads and leave you stranded. Speaking of travel, there is a great fix. You can now gain XP while inside of the vehicle. Big win for the XP farming. Next is Radiation UI update. The old big red diamond is gone. Now it's a small line, and once it connects to the other end, you die instantly, even in a Thopter. Doesn't matter if you are flying or walking. Even if you die, it might not be over though. Worms now take longer to eat abandoned vehicles. Great news for people who crash a lot. Gives you a chance to reconnect and save your ride. But be aware, worms can now use short aggro animation in deep desert. That means a little faster attacks, so keep your eyes and ears sharp. Another small change, stamina bar now animates and stays on the screen to alert when it's not regenerating or is fully drained. A small but helpful detail. There were also a bunch of audio updates, like quieter Thopter engine startup and welding tool no longer echoing across the map. One small thing I like, though it's not mentioned anywhere in the patch notes, is how we are getting out of Thopters now. Before, when you exited and tried to move to the sides, you'd get stuck on the landing legs. Now it's not perfect, sometimes you bump into the wings, but if you are fast enough you can slip through before the wings fall into the idle position. But you can move forward more easily or even start shooting NPCs right away. It's a small thing, but I like it. A lot of fixes has done for the quest visuals and the sound effects. And then the skill changes, but I'm not going over those here, as it would make this video very long, and skills do deserve their own video. Sadly, I didn't have time to test all that in a test server. The worms kept distracting me. But there is one skill I am going to talk about, and that's NPC skills. There was big issue with that. For me, the skill change was only for the first day. After that, NPCs behaved exactly like they did on the live servers, except Kirabs, who decided to strike against this update by not putting the shield on at all. And I support them, because that change went against the game's very own tutorial at the beginning. NPCs being able to dash out every single parry is done is just nonsense. What I found helps is doing a few light attacks after you parry to keep NPC off balance and then go for the slow blade attack. And that's it for now. Have fun and stay fluffy.